Hello everyone, this is Own Wall Street with thetradersperspective.com doing my weekend edition of my bi-weekly video analysis. Before you have gold, taking a look at the weekly time frame. So the price action played out towards the end of the week exactly how I was describing on Wednesday evening, and we didn't retain or get back above this previous uptrend line here. So I went ahead and just made this red as that is still an accurate and valid resistance level for now. But again, in keeping with the pattern that I had identified on my last video, which is this bat harmonic potential setting up here, it's looking pretty good. I was hoping for a little bit, of a stronger close, just to kind of creep up a little bit higher there. But again, it's not a big deal. We did close over 50% of the previous week's candlestick, so that is good. So let me just drop down to the lower time frames to kind of show you where we are and the potential for what to expect in the upcoming week. So again, here is a nice solid day, and dropping further back to this hourly time frame so I can give you better reference as to what we were looking at earlier in the week. We were looking at, and I was describing this 50 period simple moving average, and that if price maintained, price action above it, then we would be looking at gold potentially breaking up out of this downtrend line here. And obviously you could take a look at what happened. As I said in the video, even if we didn't maintain this level but maintained this price level around 1214 or so, or this uptrend line here, you would have done wise to wait for the pullback here to this level around this 1214 level. And if you had drawn in the trend line like I had, you had a nice buy here at around 1214, and then within the next couple hours you had a nice powerful move up. So we do have a nice 50 by 200 moving average cross here, so that's the golden cross, which is great. My moving average has indicated a buy signal right around here. As you can see, the green going above the yellow, or golden color, whatever you want to call it. So grand scheme of things, gold broke out, ran up, tested this resistance level, as I mentioned in my last video, that we would try to get back above that level. And I do want to bring something else to your attention. We do have a gap on the chart here, right around this 1220 level. Obviously gold just exploded when the news came out today, and since then it's been kind of consolidating here along this 1227 level, 1226 or so. It's a very solid price action. I'm not really sure if we're going to actually end up closing this gap completely. In all honesty, I do and would expect some kind of a closure, at least to test this downtrend line here around this 1223 level or so, and that would also confirm that we are above this previous resistance level here at around 1225. So again, that's something to consider and keep in the back of your mind. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to go straight up through this level here. I do anticipate that there will be some chop in here before gold does proceed to go higher, and that's just basically the picture that I'm seeing. So on the 4-hour time frame, to go back to it, we are above this 50 period simple moving average. That's great news. We're not completely out of the woodwork yet as far as a nice clean explosive move up higher yet. As you can see here, this is the level we happen to pause at around this 1228 level. I'm sorry, 1229, 1230, and that actually does coincide roughly with this uptrend line here on the weekly time frame that we had been following and broke below back here. So all in all, together, things seem to be shaping up pretty well for gold. We're going to see obviously a little bit of chop and then a potential boost up higher. And once we get back up in this trend line, we will be shooting not straight up vertically, but a pretty powerful move back up. Number one, we're going to close this gap up here and also test this 200 period simple moving average on your 4-hour time frame. So once that all comes into play, the next couple, probably the next week or so after this upcoming week, we'll see price kind of churn within this area, assuming that we do break back above this. So I am totally banking on that. By the way, I am definitely bullish at this level of gold, and I think that we're going to see much higher prices coming up if this pattern does play out like expected. So in case you did not see my last video, I highly encourage you go to the gold playlist and review how this has been shaping up over the past few weeks. But I'm going to go ahead and just draw this in for you again, and forgive me, my hands obviously are not as steady as some of the other indicators that we have, but basically this is going to be your left wing for the bat. and then you're going to have the head right here, and this is the other wing coming in here, and excuse me, a little bit down, and then further up. So the length of time it's going to take for this to actually come into fruition is going to just basically depend on what's happening in the world. But overall, I'd expect that within the next 3-4 weeks or so that we should be seeing price action outside of this trend line again, assuming that we do retake this previous uptrend line here that you could see here, showing here multiple tests, and then we had that breakdown. But all in all, it was a very, very solid week for gold. Again, repeating myself from earlier in the video, we overtook it, around 62 or 63% or so of the previous week's weekly candlestick. I'll jump back to the weekly time frame so you can understand exactly what I'm referring to. So just zooming in on this weekly time frame, what I mean is we overtook over 50% of this candle. So from the lows here put in and the highs excluded, the actual close is what I'm considering, and we closed above 50% of this bearish candle. So next week, okay, I would expect that we would have something similar to this wing right here, where we had a little bit of a very, very small retrace, probably 23% of this candle's high, if that even. I didn't do the measurements, so I'm just using rough hand estimates. But the signals are pretty clear here that the price does seem to want to continue in this direction upwards. So if you're patient and wait for a nice entry, you might be able to get a nice entry if you just watch your lower time frames and see if this level happens to hold here around 1227. Now again, as with any other security, when resistance levels are broken, trend lines are broken out of, you usually see a retest of it. So it wouldn't be out of the question for gold to drop back down, like I said earlier, to this 1224 level and then continue to go back up and then retest. But that would be a pretty hard pullback given the this past week's candlestick. So a pullback of that caliber would definitely look bad, at least to a lot of people. So 1224 is around here, so it wouldn't be terrible. But at the same time, you would hope to see a little bit more strength near that 1228 level. But again, it's gold, it's volatile. There's a lot of things going on in the world today, so just be patient. Don't get too aggressive at this stage. Once we do get back in this trend line here, back in this little wedge, then I would expect, like I said, on looking at your 4-hour time frame, you can really see it well, where after you break out of this break into, I should say, out of this box and into this wedge area again, the next area is going to be at around 1243 or so, 1244 as your next resistance level, and then onwards to about this 200 near 1250 or so. So that's what I'm going to be looking for from gold in the upcoming week. I'm probably giving you all a little bit too much information as far as because I always do my midweek analysis. So we'll see where we're at after the beginning of the week, but heading into next week, we're looking pretty solid for gold to continue its northern appreciation. And I will update you all on Wednesday. And just make sure that if you're going to be playing this game, manage your risk. Don't go too large. Scale into your positions, and use sound trading plans and strategies. So that's the only thing I could say. Right now, things are the price of gold has definitely spiked up quite a few dollars here. So again, it's potential for us to see a retrace about this 1224 level. In fact, I would bank on it, and then I would expect the price to bounce up and then break back up into this area up here, and then onward to test this 1243 1244 level, onwards to test this 200 period simple moving average on your 4-hour time frame. I'm on Wall Street. This has been a presentation of thetradersperspective.com. I thank you all so much for watching and subscribing to the channel. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. If you haven't stopped by the website, go ahead and check it out. There's a lot of good membership information on there. And I'd be happy to speak with you if you had any questions. I would even give free consultations, as mentioned previously in the beginning of every single one of my videos. You could see it there. But all in all, things are looking great for gold. I thank you all so much for watching. Remember to use your stop losses, sound investment strategies, manage your risks, and have a wonderful weekend. I will see you all next week.